Greatest Cards of All Time podcast number 38. It's 2022 Donruss UFC and Octagon Marvels of Nate Diaz from the welterweight division.
Another first for us, podcast covering
That's pretty cool.
UFC, and actually maybe the first cards at all that we've covered.
I'll just say UFC. I'm just a big sports fan. I like sports across the board, so.
Well, Nate's been around forever. Nate Diaz, he's been a pro since 10/21 of 2004. That's when he had his debut. He just fought again September 10th of 2022. Just beats Tony Ferguson for a record of 21-13. This guy is a legend, cool. Been fighting forever.
He can eat a punch, he can take a punch, he can throw punches of his own. Tremendous wrestler too, right?
Might be done with UFC. I would say tremendous grappler.
Okay.
He's grappling. He's a jiu-jitsu black belt with the Gracies. Out of his 21 victories, 12 submissions. So he is very dangerous on the ground. He can still knock dudes out, though, too. He's got 5 knockouts. Just hard to put away. This guy is hard to put away. He'll tire you out just by taking punches in the face.
Yeah. This happens to be number 14 in this set. I like the Octagon Marvels. Kind of cool. Just classic Nate Diaz form right there. Kind of a comic book looking card, obviously.
Hence the Marvels.
Hence the Marvels, and it's kind of set up to look like a cover of a comic book there, too. Yeah. I think it's a really neat card. Cool to have in the collection, for sure. And then on the back, you get a little story, too. And then just a little freeze frame of that same picture you get on the front. Very cool UFC card from Donruss, in my opinion.
The Marvels are popular. I like them. Nate Diaz is a popular fighter. He might be done with the UFC. That's another interesting thing. That was the last fight on his contract. So now what's he going to do? He made a comment about going on and dominating another professional sport and then coming back and fighting again. He wants to prove he can be number one at another sport. I don't know what he's talking about. Is he talking about boxing? Is he talking about triathletes?
I know he does do some of that stuff on the side. He's always staying in shape, and he likes to stay active while staying in shape. His brother Nick is
triathlons known for triathlons. So I don't know if that's what he's talking about, or I wouldn't be surprised if maybe a pro boxing match or two. But really, I don't see him translating to boxing all that well. I mean, he's great in the UFC ring. Yeah. But that's because he's so dangerous on the ground. So
yeah, it's a different beast. You always have to, protect yourself from their strengths and stuff like that. If you're just standing up swinging, it's a different animal.
So I'll be curious to see what he does next. In his time with the UFC, he actually was awarded 16 bonuses. That's third most all time. That might be it. I'll be very curious to see did we just see his last fight in the UFC, and is that it for Nate as far as MMA?
Cool snippet on the back of this Panini UFC card here. Nate Diaz doesn't believe in traditional metrics for judging greatness, such as championships. He's all about who is a true fighter, and I think that's what he tries to represent himself there. It goes on, so it makes sense Diaz's appearances in the UFC record book correlate to getting into battles. Like his 1,443 significant strikes landed, which ranks 10th in UFC history through 2021.
Yeah, so, looking at his record, it may not be the most impressive record. He doesn't have any titles in the UFC, at least, and he's got 13 losses. But when you look at the guys he's fighting, he is fighting the best of the best.
The best of the best. So, that's who he requests, right?
Exactly, and that's, I guess, the back of the card kind of does, allude to that. This guy, he's a warrior. He doesn't back down. He'll take any fight. He was fun to watch while he was in the UFC.